Hi guys, Blake from Football Boots, and today we're looking back at Zlatan Ibrahimovic's football boot history. Signing his first professional contract in 1996 with Malmo and making his debut for the club in 1999, Zlatan's first official boots in his professional career were a pair of Nike Tempo Premier M boots, which were released for the 1998 World Cup. On from the Tempo Premier, Zlatan switched to different brands wearing the Puma King early on in his Ajax career, helping the Dutch side to a league title in 2002. On from that, Zlatan moved to Adidas's Copa Mundial for a short spell. At this point of his career, Zlatan was trying out different brands and boots just to see what would be the best boot for him, and in 2003 he found his boot range which he would wear for most of his career, the Mercurial Vapor by Nike Football. With Nike launching their first gen Vapor for the 2002 FIFA World Cup, which did include that famous cage advert using Nike's key athletes at the time including Roberto Carlos, Eric Cantona, Thierry Henry and many more, this seemed to be a good switch for the Swedes as it kicked off his emphatic and illustrious career, which including winning 8 league titles in succession. Winning another league title in 2004 with Ajax, Zlatan moved to Italy with Juventus, and this saw the striker switch up to the second gen Mercurial Vapor, which was essentially a slightly enhanced version of the Vapor 1, making improvements to comfort and fit. This range was most notably headlined by both Ronaldos at the time. Winning 2 league titles with Juventus while wearing the Vapor 2 boots, he moved to Inter Milan following the Calciopoli scandal in 2006, and this saw him move to the Mercurial Vapor 3. The Vapor 3 was most notably known for using a new synthetic which is still used today called Teijin synthetic, which made the boots lighter and more comfortable. Winning yet another league title with Inter in 2007, Zlatan moved to the Vapor 3 SL boot at the start of 2008. The Vapor 3 SL boot was entirely made of carbon fibre and was just 185 grams, making it very lightweight for a boot in that period. Ibrahimović wore these boots for a brief period before moving on to the Vapor 4, which was known for the lace cover. The Vapor 4s were worn by Zlatan at the end of the 2007-08 season, which again saw another league title added to his trophy cabinet. The Vapor 4s were the first generation to venture out and create vivid and bright colourways. At Euro 2008, Ibrahimović wore a black and blue version of the Vapor 4s and decided not to wear the carbon fibre Vapor 4 SL edition. Winning his third successive league title with Inter in 2009, he moved to the Mercurial Vapor Superfly, which he wore at Barcelona. Inspired by track spike shoes, the Vapor Superfly was the first Mercurial to use flywire cables, enhancing responsiveness and traction. With his game time limited under Pep Guardiola, Ibrahimović moved back to AC Milan on loan at first, then a permanent move made in 2011. Seen as a flop in Barcelona, Ibrahimović again won a league title with the Spanish club in 2010. Failing to qualify for the 2010 World Cup with Sweden, in which the Superfly 2 boots were launched for, Zlatan moved to the next gen boots at AC Milan. The Superfly 2 was more focused on traction than speed and used their Sense technology, which extended and retracted the studs. Zlatan notably didn't wear the Elite Superfly 2, which used a carbon fibre sole plate. Winning a record 6 Serie A title with 3 different clubs in 2011, Zlatan moved to the 3rd generation Superfly, which is a minor grade from the Superfly 2. Minor adjustments were made to the upper and stud system. In 2012, Zlatan went up to the Vapor 8 and nobly wore the Launch Crimson edition with his last weeks at AC Milan. The 8th Vapor again featured Teijin synthetic on the upper and was known for featuring several vivid and vibrant colourways. At Euro 2012, Zlatan wore the Clash Mercurial Vapor 8s, and for the start of 2013 he switched to the Vapor 9 boots, and he was one of Nike's headline athletes to market the new generation, and that season did see another league title for Ibra, his first in France. The Vapor 9 was the first Mercurial to feature ACC, and it featured that golf ball-like Teijin synthetic upper. He wore several colourways including the Launch Fiberi edition. Mid-2013 saw Ibrahimović switch styles briefly as he marketed and wore the Hybrid Phantom Launch editions. Wearing the Hybrid Phantom for a few matches, Ibra switched back to the Vapor 9 boots and he helped PSG to another league title in 2014. Ibrahimović was one of Nike's athletes to market their Superfly 4 for the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, even though he would not be appearing in the tournament. Ibrahimović wore the Launch Vapor 10 boots at the start of the 2014-15 season. The Vapor 10 was favoured by several professionals over the Superfly 4, including Hazard, Modric and Coutinho. During the second half of 2014 and early 2015, Ibrahimovic's Nike contract had ended and he wore several blacked out boots including the Vapor 10, Nike Tempo Legend 5, Adidas F50 Adizero 4 and the 2015 F50 Adizero. Zlatan sported a blackout Vapor 10 which had the words 805 million names written on it to support the World Food Programme, and he also had 50 names tattooed on his body. After his third successive league title with PSG, Zlatan was seen wearing the Silver Storm Vapor 10s, but then switched back to the Blackout version, then back to the Silver Storm editions, then back to the Blackout versions. During the latter half of the 2015-16 season, Zlatan was wearing the Vapor 10 retail versions, including the Electro Flare and Liquid Chrome editions. In June 2016, Zlatan Ibrahimović launched his own sportswear brand named A to Z, meaning amateur to Zlatan. At Euro 2016, he opted to stay with the Vapor 10 after Vapor 11 was launched, and he wore the Radiant Reveal editions at the tournament, and he also announced his international retirement from Sweden. So while at Euro 2016, Zlatan tested the Adidas X16.1 and X16 Plus Pure Chaos boots in training, which again raised doubts about his contract. So after winning an array of titles at PSG, Ibrahimović moved to the Vapor 11 boots upon his arrival at Manchester United. Launched as part of the Spark Brilliance pack, the Vapor 11 again features a Teijin synthetic upper and new horizontal ridges for added support and grip on the ball. He netted the winning goal for United in his first professional game against Leicester City in the Community Shield. He was wearing the Vapor 11 Spark Brilliance boots. So that pretty much wraps up Ibrahimovic's boot history. If you feel like we have missed out a boot, please put it in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.